But yeah, soaking up all that UK hip hop, sort of different eras. You know, the Task Force, the Jest, the Skits, the Roots Maneuver, the Rodney P, the Universal Soldiers, the MSI era was great, because that's when I was fully involved in it. You know, that was a good time for me.
What's a tune that you say to yourself, that should have smacked, that should have broke through, or actually, moreover, ones that did cross over, but perhaps didn't get the full understanding.
Groundbreaker was a big one, wasn't it? Fallacy.
Groundbreaker, yeah. I rigorously talk about that. I had Fusion on the other day. So
yeah. I've always got a soft spot for Detwork Southeast, Black Twang. He used to live in Deptford, where I was in London for the majority of my time. I lived in London and used to go to his house to pick up stock. You know, so that was always a very sort of fond tune of mine, and I still play it out to this day. I would have loved that to have been like a massive thing. But yeah, it was always really frustrating because, you know, like Roots Maneuver, Witness, I mean, you still play that out now, and a lot of people seem to know that, you know, which is great. But at the time, we were always there, like thinking, this is going to be it. This is going to be it. But secretly, none of us really wanted to get really blown up and kind of massive, because then you'd be selling out, you know. But then that all, you know, then grime came in and just like, psh. UK hip-hop didn't exist.
It's interesting you say that. It is interesting you say
Did
that.
You Ask was where it started.
Yeah.
Boy in the Corner.
No.
Started in the early 80s.
Which again, you know, we stand on the shoulders of giants here.
Yeah, it frustrates me that, you know, the actual UK hip-hop scene often just gets shunned as not even being a part of it, you know. And I say to people now, you know, when you turn on the radio now and you hear a UK MC, you know, every sort of other track, you know, that was never a thing. That's why I started UK Hustlaz.
Yeah.
That's why I started putting out UK hip-hop, to let people know.
Killa Kela podcast. KillaKelaOfficial.com.
Street Culture TV.
Beatbox created.
Killa Kela.
And we're here to talk about world music and street culture.
Killa Kela podcast.
Into that. Ladies and gentlemen, Killa Kela podcast, live and direct, Central London, or as central as you need to be, could be, should be. You don't want to be anywhere else. Big shout out to sharing carers. People have been clocking very early, subscribing, tell a friend to telling a friend. Okay, people, our sponsors, the mighty GK Nifty Heads, have 10,000 play-to-earn GraffPunks NFTs to give away. Get ready as London's white trash goes blockchain digital with Bitcoin Cash tokens locked into them to claim. Get yourselves over to the website gkniftyheads.com and play to earn now. You know, and starting somewhere to get everywhere is where this story begins for me. This gentleman right here. And I've given him flowers for ages. He used to get my demos as a young boy, you understand, and have to endure so much of my beatboxing and rapping down the phone. I've bought him drinks and we've shared a couple of laughs here and there, but nonetheless, this is one of many stories that comes into play when you talk about this gentleman as part of the UK hip-hop scene. He pioneered a whole majority of us and circulated so many of our musics and sounds across the years, from Dub Chronicles to Suspect Radio, podcasts, Original Witch FM, Suspect Packages, UK Hustler mixtapes. I mean, Intelligent Madness. Did we say more? It's Disorder in the building.
Easy.
Yeah, I struggled. Struggled where to begin with you, Jen.
Yeah.
Wow, it's so good to have you on.
Yeah, man. It's good to see you. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
A long time.
It has been a minute. Your story starts in a very sepia, nostalgic place in my heart, as it does a lot. And you know, you're still cooking on gas right now. What's been going on?
Well, just still maintaining, still kind of doing me, still loving music from the minute I wake up to pretty much the minute I go to bed. Yeah. Pretty much carved a career within playing records, I guess, and just loving music so much, and just realising the power music has.
It's a force to harness, isn't it? Well, what harnesses it? What attaches it to us? What is it about music? Well, you know, where is this force coming from, D?
Well, for me, it was the hip hop force. You know, But essentially, music kind of, I don't know, I guess it grounds me, keeps me kind of stable. If ever I'm at a point where I'm quite low, then music takes me somewhere else. You know, it's a picture. It's a moment in time. It's a lyric. It's a feeling. It's a culture. It's an art form. It's art, as if we're talking about physical records, you know. It's a smell, you know. Music, yeah, it's just fundamentally and worldwide something that everyone can embrace. And, you know, it's just very powerful, and some people don't realise. But as I've continued my career, I've kind of realised that music can help a lot of souls, you know.
Imagine being Disorda just for, you know, one evening of the records you've amassed. I can imagine it's like the who's who fucking grotto of I would imagine you walk into the space, shut the door, and every problem disappears, and you're in this zone of, you know, a mass of like thousands of years of intellectual value on wax. That must be such a spiritual moment for you.
Yeah, it's great. I got into collecting records when I was about 12. Just before I met you, I bought another one. Yeah, I just love the physical aspect of a record. As I said, it's a time, it's a place, it's a moment, it's a history, it's a lesson. You know, it's a thing. Having said that, you know, the generation that are coming through now, they don't listen to music in that way. I try and give them that kind of knowledge. I do a lot of youth work now, and trying to give them the history of certain things. Some of them get it, some of them don't. Some of them can't even listen to a song for more than 40 seconds before they do that.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Do you have much of this, I mean, you know, without sounding too, you know, undermining, the term standing on the shoulders of giants comes into mind, mainly from a perspective of what you really, like, top heavy achieved in such a opportunist space and time where UK hip-hop needed a vehicle, it needed a messenger, it needed amplification, distribution, it needed fresh eyes and ears, and there was Disorda. Not DJ Disorda, the Disorda. We'll get into that a little bit. But you know, you took the monarch, you took the baton, and you said, "Well, I will be the conduit." Whether it was in DJing, whether it was in, you know, getting phone calls from the likes of me, whether it was, you know, just sending that message out, and not necessarily from the London point, but globally.
Yeah. I mean, coming from a small, tiny village outside Peterborough, growing up, and hearing hip hop. And then eventually kind of hearing UK artists travelling to London at a young age to get those records because we couldn't get them. We had to go on the coach to London. To then realising when I moved out of home and moved to London that you couldn't really get these records outside of London, and no one was really pushing these tracks. Of UK-based artists. So yeah, I took it upon myself to do compilations, mixtapes of UK hip-hop artists, which became the UK Hustlaz, which then spawned into an online record store, selling the music I was putting on those tapes, which then went globally, you know. And on top of that, a radio show, and then a distribution company. Yeah, it's been a lot.
How does that sit? Because I saw the mechanics working there as you were talking. Like, because this is not a, you know, we're talking about what, late 90s when this
Yeah.
really popped up. I remember '95. I saw your advert in Hip Hop Connection. I'm sure it's over there within the rack, you know. And it's just like you had a stable of artistry within Intelligent Madness and a couple of other people's, and you know you were distributing these tapes. It was
originally tapes that I started reselling other people's tapes, MK especially. I can't remember some of the others, but yeah, and it was literally just a small little photocopied bit of paper that started from the mailing list from our crew Intelligent Madness when we put out one or two tapes, maybe a tape, and then we put out a record. Suspect Packages started from the back of that mailing list, which then made me think, okay, well, I can use that. And I moved out of home and got a job within Xerox, reprographic company. And that's where we would, make order, mail order, leaflets and tape. And all the tape covers, everything was all done through there.
Professionalism, you know, there's a real professional aspect to it.
But it was never really like, this is what I'm going to do. It just kind of happened and just got a bit bigger. And I was just like, well, no one else is really doing this. I'm really enjoying this. You know, I'm meeting all these artists that I've been listening to. Sick. Let's get them on the radio show. Let's promote them further. Yeah. You know, 23 years later, I stopped doing the radio show a couple of years ago and stopped the online store and moved further into what I'm doing now, which is, teaching about vinyl, DJing, digitally and, you know.
Was it quite with a heavy heart that you stopped some of those?
No,
projects?
not really. It just kind of naturally happened, I guess, with the advent of the way that people listen to music, I guess, the way that you can buy music. I set up doing what I was doing because you couldn't buy it, as I said. So a lot of it came from the way, I guess, punters support music. They like to go directly to the artist, which I do when I buy music. If I can, I'd rather put the money in the artist's hand. And it just got harder and harder, really, for me to continue buying new stock. Yeah. And I always said to myself, if it gets to the point where I'm not enjoying this anymore, then it's going to stop. It didn't really get to that point where I wasn't enjoying it. It just got to the point where I couldn't maintain it as a business anymore because I went full time with it. From quite an early point. And but then other things had happened along the way, and then I fell into doing what I'm doing now, which is running the vinyl workshop, and then also off the back of that, doing youth work, bringing what I know within the industry from running a label to running a distribution company, being on the radio since the age of 17. Big up Solo One.
Yes, big up Solo One.
For getting me on Mix FM that was when I was 17. Wow. That's when my radio thing. But before that, we used to pretend to be on a radio in our bedrooms. Big up Jay.
If you know, you know. The tapes and the...
Yeah, we pretended to be on the radio. So I've loved radio my whole life. Still do. Presenting is great. I love it. And then, so now I'm kind of, giving all the knowledge that I've amassed.
The knowledge, you see.
But it's not all hip hop either. You know, I've never just been hip hop.
No, you've been
I think that's really helping me now because it allows me to sort of dip into different genres and be able to sort of teach people about how, you know.
Because that can work in, that can be repurposed for the likes of grime and drill. Like there isn't too much just there's similarities in the way grime came up and done its thing that works in the same accordance to drum and bass with the tape packs and and UK hip hop in the way that you did. But I understand that for your versatility and understanding music, there had to be another way of thinking things through that perhaps was not being seen by the UK rap public. You know, sometimes repurposing something with from a reggae outlook or a rock and roll outlook, and how did they do it? You know, I get where you probably, those lines were crossed.
Yeah, I think growing up as well, when I did, and we would go to a club and we would hear, back then, I'm talking like hip hop, you'd hear acid, you'd hear techno, these were all emerging at the same time. So you wouldn't just be at a rave where you would solely just hear hip hop.
Yeah.
You know, soul music, lovers rock,
Yeah.
you know, reggae, roots, and then, you know, the indie scene, you know, and just absorbing all of that. And now that's what I feel is great, because I'm now listening to all this other music. And when I DJ as well, I don't just play one genre.
No.
You know, I've got a wicked night that I do a residency at. I've had that for 6 years, just in my local town.
Nice.
And I say to people, it's the best gig I've ever had. It's the one gig I've always wanted to have. 5-hour set. I can play what I want.
And you'd be doing that at
And
home anyway.
it's a 10-minute walk from my house.
Vibes.
So
all
some
day.
weeks I'm playing like acid. Some weeks I'll play soul, funk. Some nights I'll go from soul, funk through to jungle. There'll be a bit of reggae in between, maybe some hip hop.
Taking them on a journey.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
just
Winchester,
like,
right?
yeah,
This is
yeah,
Winchester.
yeah.
We got the Sussex.
Hampshire.
Hampshire, big up.
Yeah, so just north of Southampton.
Right, well, you know, I've got these kind of bullet points in my head, which, you know, they've been plaguing me all
Sorry,
my,
yeah,
all my life.
I'll go off on a tangent. Sorry,
no,
man,
it's all
keep going.
good. It's all good. You know, because you hold such a catalogue, some majority of it, which is in your mind of, you know, of these iconic moments, not just in music, but we'll stick with the UK hip hop genre for a second. Give me your unsung heroes, where you would say to yourself, man, like, if it wasn't for these guys, we could, you know, go maybe 2 or 3. But if it wasn't for these guys, this would not have spawned this in the timeline of UK rap.
I've got to big up Crispy 3.
Oh,
Just for me, for realising that UK homegrown hip hop wasn't just London. And it was John Peel that put me on to Crispy 3.
Really?
Yeah. Listening to John Peel. Because again, where I was from, small village, we had no pirates. I loved it when I moved to London and had all these pirates I could listen to. You know, again, soaking up all the different, like jungle. That's when I first heard jungle properly, you know. But yeah, realising that, you know, Crispy 3 played a big part in that, and then realising, you know, people like Massive Attack, 3PM and, you know, that kind of crew from Bristol, Deftex from Norwich.
Deftex, wow. Caliphs were
Manchester.
Manchester, another Manchester.
Yeah.
Crew.
And then, yeah, you know, going through, I guess, got a big up Task Force. Universal Soldiers, for me, were incredible. But also, MSI and Asylum.
Come on.
For me,
Stand up.
it is just criminal that they never got to that peak where they should have done. Their album is incredible.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a personal thing for me. 'Cause I don't know, but yeah, I mean, they repped Birmingham fully. They had it on lock. They had that Wu-Tang vibe. They always got compared to Wu-Tang because they had like an extended kind of, you know, quite a big crew, and they came out around the same time.
Hard. You know, I also had that was peer pressure at Nottingham. You know, like
Yes.
Trevor Rose's
Yeah.
Trev, you know.
Yeah, because where I was from in Peterborough, we used to go to Leicester and to Nottingham record shopping, and used to go to 5HQ. And yeah, so that then morphed into Formation Records, which then became the rave thing, which again, I ended up buying records from that angle, and that's when all the rave thing came in.
Big up SS.
Yeah,
Big up Tanya.
and then seeing going there and picking up flyers with Formation dancers on them, and seeing all those crews there, and like all the early not scene. But yeah, it's just my mind's now thinking early rave, like Formation Records, and then hearing all that, and then from where I grew up with Shades of Rhythm, which was Peterborough, to then ended up dancing and doing rave stuff. But I'm going off on another tangent.
Peterborough
there.
always had its scene as well, because, you know, there was a big graph scene there as well,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
Real shit.
yeah.
Like, I've always had a soft spot for that. You know, as soon as you get into the train station, like bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
You know, Swindon had their incubated. Reading had its.
Yeah.
And it's mad how, in a very similar context to bands coming up, it's like the more you have, the more, you know, the journey of the sperm, you know, someone's going to break through, you know.
But yeah, soaking up all that UK hip-hop sort of different eras, you know, the Task Force, the Jest, the Skits, the Roots Maneuver, the Rodney P, the Universal Soldiers, the MSI era was great, because that's when I was fully involved in it. You know, that was a good time for me.
What's a tune that you say to yourself, that should have smacked, that should have broke through, or actually, moreover, ones that did cross over, but perhaps didn't get the full understanding.
Groundbreaker was a big one, wasn't it? Fallacy.
Groundbreaker, yeah. I rigorously talk about that. I had Fusion on the other day. So
I've always got a soft spot for Detwork South East, Black Twang. He used to live in Deptford, where I was in London for the majority of my time. I lived in London and used to go to his house to pick up stock. You know, so that was always a very sort of fond tune of mine, and I still play it out to this day. I would have loved that to have been like a massive thing. But yeah, it was always really frustrating because, you know, like Roots Maneuver, Witness, I mean, you still play that out now, and a lot of people seem to know that, you know, which is great. But at the time, we were always there, like thinking, this is going to be it. This is going to be it. But secretly, none of us really wanted to get really blown up and kind of massive, because then you'd be selling out, you know. But then that all, you know, then grime came in and just like, psh. UK hip-hop didn't exist.
It's interesting you say that. It is interesting you say
Did
that.
You Ask was where it started.
Yeah.
Boy in the Corner.
No.
Started in the early 80s.
Which again, you know, we stand on the shoulders of giants here.
It frustrates me that, you know, the actual UK hip-hop scene often just gets shunned as not even being a part of it, you know. And I say to people now, you know, when you turn on the radio now and you hear a UK MC, you know, every sort of other track, you know, that was never a thing. That's why I started UK Hustlaz. That's why I started putting out UK hip-hop, to let people know. I'd like to think I had a little bit of a helping hand in getting that to mainstream radio, getting the UK accent known. It was never a thing to be played on the radio. You were lucky if you got a tune on Westwood. Max and Dave would support, 279 would support, you know. Westwood did in his early career, you know. But, I'd like to sort of think I helped a little bit along the way to get that known. But now it's just mainstream, bang, wicked. Do you know what I mean? Good.
Yeah.
But a lot of the MCs are terrible, I won't lie.
Yeah, it's complicated, isn't it?
Because, but then, to be fair, I don't really listen to a lot of the new school artists as such, to be fair.
I think each generation spawns the next.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up with Rakim, Big Daddy Kane.
And they're probably listening to
Skinny
us.
Man, Jest, you know.
It's just youthful wisdom to want to kind of
MCD,
hold the crown of that level.
You know.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
So you put those MCs up against them, but anyway, that's a whole nother
there's
thing.
a huge, you know, I mean, I'm going to throw Lethal out there, aka Harry Shotter for starters. Yeah. But then at the same time, you know, you had your Southside Assassins and you're Hard to Kill.
Yeah. Wow.
Do you remember
they came round to my house in London when I did one of their tapes. That's mad. Wow.
Yeah, I threw it in.
You know the shit.
I threw it in.
Damn.
I threw it in.
Yeah.
Because these guys were just like freestyle fanatics.
Yeah.
We were fucking around.
Hard to Kill, yeah.
You see, there was these, you know, diamonds in the rough of like...
Yeah, oh God, yeah.
Jesus, like...
But that's what I loved about putting out those tapes. Because once people knew what I was doing, I would get sent tapes and stuff through the post. That's why it was called Suspect Packages. I used to get so much stuff through the post.
Wow.
And I set up they were like, I
didn't
want to put my address on everything, because at one point it was the first house I moved to in London with my mate from back home. And so I was like, I'll get one of those PO box things. And then it said, what's the name of your PO box? And I was like, Suspect Packages.
That's how it came about.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
So it's just by, you know, just by
Yeah,
default,
it was just by like, I need a name for it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just call it that. Never got any stick for that name, which is kind of random.
That is kind of
Everyone
random.
with the postman always laughs.
Very good.
Yeah, it became a name known for sort of UK hip hop, really, I guess.
Now,
Yeah.
now you come to mention it, there must have been, I think I probably sent you a Prime and Kela tape.
Yep.
You know, what was the...
With the drawings on the front?
Yeah, that's
yeah, mum.
it, yeah. Was it any disastrous kind of inside packaging that I sent it like? Because there was a time where I'd just, do some absolute... Man, this is first-rate life, still remind me. Things like the pizza version. I'd have bits of pizza
is
with the
it?
tape,
Oh, I can't remember that.
Yeah. There's,
Sick.
yeah, there's
Good little touch. Makes it stand out, though, you see.
Yeah. Do you think that's what's
good.
lacking in forthright push? Because this is a very noisy arena of music genre now, and this goes for all the genres.
You've got to really stand out, haven't you?
The echo chamber, isn't it?
It's too easy to put out a tune these days, and which is kind of good and bad in a way. The software has changed that you can make things on. You can make a tune sound on the bus, post it up on YouTube within half an hour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, you do have to kind of be a lot different these days and sort of stand out. But again, like I say, I'm not really up on a lot of the kind of new music as such. I'm immersed in so much music on a daily basis that I can't keep up with literally everything. Plus, it doesn't really interest me either.
Really?
No. I probably couldn't tell you any new school hip-hop artists. I don't really keep up with new hip-hop.
What, even from a UK standpoint?
No, more, no, just sort of globally. I listen to sort of hear things. Actually, having said that, a lot of the youth work I now do, I get them to play me stuff, so they keep me informed.
Yeah, got you.
Which is great, because then I'm giving back and empowering them to give me something, which is great, because I'm always like, listen to this, listen to this, listen to this, here's this.
Yeah.
But now, with the digital DJing we can do, you can pick a song and be DJing with it within seconds.
Yeah.
And that's great, for me now to be able to empower these young people to play music that they're listening to. And I'm like, okay, who's this?
It's show and tell. It's like the new version.
Yeah.
But you're casually getting more intel.
Yeah.
Show and intel.
Yeah, no. So there are bits and pieces that, but yeah, where I've kind of, recently I'm on a tip of sort of, I've randomly got back into, well, it's not random, but I got back into skateboarding 2 years ago.
Really?
So I'm like,
No way.
now I'm going back down my route of listening to thrash that I used to listen to at the time when I got into hip hop on the side. Again, John Peel, who put me on to a lot of the crazy punk and thrash that you would hear on his show.
Give me some names.
Well, Suicidal Tendencies are the
Hell
one for
yeah.
me. They're the one for me that got
Only
me
one,
into
it was a Pepsi.
Yeah. So their third album was one that I hold very close to my heart for a lot of reasons personally. And I went back to that, and I've since delved further into their archive. Anthrax,
Hell yeah.
Slayer. I would listen
Killer
to.
Bees.
Yeah. But then going forwards, listening to new groups like a group called Rotting Out. But then I'm now discovering like UK groups. Like not going, obviously like Exploited and people like that going back, like UK punk and random other stuff. But new school acts, like there's a group called Short Sharp Shock from Liverpool, and it's just crazy music. The energy is just incredible, and that's what I love about it. It reminds me almost of the old school UK hip hop tempo of such. But when you skate to it, it's great.
Idols.
DFL.
Idols?
Ooh, no, and I have heard of them.
Bob Villain. Those sorts of things.
There's so many though. This is what my mind is like. It's like, right, I now need to know about this. And once I find something that I like, and as a group I like, I've recently discovered DFL, who were signed to Beastie Boys label. And I'm like, why have I never knew Ad Rock was part of DFL? How come at this time I was listening to Suicidal Tendencies and Beastie Boys that DFL were formed? And it was like, why did I not know about them? And then new groups, MK Ultras from the States, UK groups. There's a wicked new group called Split Dogs. I think they're from Bristol.
Wow.
That I've been checking out.
So this is
they're
like
crazy.
DIY punk kind of hardcore.
Yeah. Kind of
Sick.
more sort of punky kind of vibe. And another group I found just last week, they're called the Meffs, MEFFS. And they come from almost like the streets kind of sound and like political kind of commentary, but like sounding as well with that London twang. It's a female singer, but punk
Really?
and new. So yeah, check out the Meths. So yeah, I'm kind of listening to that kind of thing. It's quite nice actually, where I've taken myself away from the UK hip hop scene, and it sort of I still listen and play out hip hop, you know, all the time, but taking myself away from what I had to be fully immersed in all the time to buy new releases from certain labels, High Focus, etc. Real Life Drama, all these people where I would go directly to artists and what have you. It's really been nice to actually just be like,
I get you.
like now I can explore what I want.
Do you think there's an obsessive side to you?
Definitely.
Yeah? Talk to me about
100%.
that. So,
100%.
Really?
My wife will tell you, and my kids.
Really?
Yeah.
Where's that come from?
I don't know. I don't know. It's crazy because like I said, I have to know everything about a certain thing. But there's definitely an obsessive nature in me. Why I like, but now with skating, I'm like, right, skating, cool. I need to. I've always kept my boards. I was never any good, but I was skating when I was young. I then skated when I moved to London a little bit, but just going A to B, you know. But now, got back into it a couple of years ago. There's a skate park 2 minutes from my house.
Do you feel like you have to be busy? Or at least filling up your time?
No, it's not really filling up. I just really enjoy it. I really enjoy skateboarding. It's just something, and the other thing I really enjoy about it is that it's made me meet new people outside music, because my whole life has been immersed in music people, and it's all I talk about, which is why I almost set up the vinyl workshop, because it's all I know.
Yeah.
You know, I could talk about it for days.
Default,
so it's actually been really nice to meet a whole new group of people, and the whole skate scene is incredible because everyone just embraces you, young or old. There's also now a WhatsApp group that we've got, and we're all over 40 in it. We're called the Old Dogs, and we go skating most mornings if we can, and we're all over 40. There's about 20 of us in it.
What time
and
do
we've
you
all
get
got
up
the
in the
same.
morning? I'll tell you what.
Up early, like 7.
Stop. And you
Stop 6.
hold on. So you skate at 7 in the morning.
Yeah. Sometimes
for an hour or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to do it when my kids were having to be dropped off at school. Sometimes we'd do it just before school drop off, sometimes after.
Oh, that's something.
But when you're self-employed, you can kind of do that, you know.
Yeah.
You can. But yeah, sometimes I go at lunchtime, and I just want to get better, you know. But then, you know, the good skaters are helping me. There was a point where you'd be like, I don't want to go in the skate park. One, I'm like old. 2, I'm not very good. But it's not about that. You then realise that actually nobody cares. People help you.
I feel old all the time, mate. But it doesn't get any.
But yeah, it's great. I love it. So yeah,
But you know,
skating.
the things you know is what you know, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I definitely have an obsessive nature. If it's something I'm really into, I need to know everything about it. Like I was just saying about the certain groups I've got into, and I'm going down a massive punk route, which I never really did. I did thrash, but now I'm on punk. I've been going down this crazy punk, DIY punk, small little bands that had like 1 7-inch out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I want that 1 7-inch.
And I needed to know where they come from and who they're involved, and where did that person. So that person then set up this group. Okay, well, who are they? Do I like them? If I do like them, then what else did they do?
Yeah.
And then, if I really like them, I have to have the record that they put out. And then I've started doing a night.
And where is that T-shirt again?
And then I've started doing nights, playing this music. So I'm down doing a regular night. Well, I say regular.
To get the full ensemble experience of that genre or artist or really. So that's a real thing. So this wasn't just UK hip hop. This was like a whole. This is a whole succession of things.
Yeah. People just think I'm Mr. UK hip hop, and this is what I was saying before. I'm into everything. You know, I'd quite happily do like a whole night just playing really, really slow 2-step soul. Love it.
Do you think a lot of No, I get it. It's some rare
Lovers
grooves.
rock. I love my Lovers rock. Massive Lovers rock fan.
Do you think the UK public? Do you think they get hooked up on like? There's only, if it's beatboxer, there's only one. If there's a DJ team, there's only one. If there's a UK hip hop guy, there's only one. There is a kind of, the mentality of a British public, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I've never really thought about it like that, but yeah.
Pigeonholed.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
We were always kind of pigeonholed, weren't we, coming up through the UK hip hop scene?
But how do you feel about being the UK, the pure-driven, hardcore, to the walls fall off UK hip hop enthusiast and champion?
Don't know, really. I never really thought about it, really. I mean, yeah, cool. Like I say, if I've helped people along the way,
right.
But that kind of thing doing what I'm doing has then helped me progress into doing what I'm doing now. So yeah, it's been great because people know what I've done, and that's how I got involved in doing the youth work I do, because the person that was involved in the youth charity I work for, they were like, we know what you've done in the past with your UK hip hop and helping people. I've always wanted to help people. Not intentionally, but through music, it's always been that way. If you look at the UK Hustlaz tapes I did, that was to help. You know, I could see there was an issue there. We weren't getting heard. I was an artist at the same time. We were putting out a record. You couldn't get it heard. So I went around all the shops. I got to meet people. Big up MK.
Big up MK.
And then moving forwards with setting up the vinyl workshop, that's, again, to give my knowledge to people that want to get into playing music, DJing. I want to help them, you know. And then I got involved in doing youth work, where I'm helping children that might, you know, be suffering a little bit. They might not want to talk to their parents about certain things. They might be really, really struggling to make friends. They might be really, really struggling at school. Some of them aren't at school, you know. But put them in front of some music and let's talk about the music that you're into. Why are you into that?
They light
What
up.
yeah. Wow, I like this. Why are you always listening to that Eminem song? What do you like about those lyrics? Does that reflect your life? Can you relate to that? Well, let's explore some other things. And before you know it, you've got this whole story. And they're like, no, I don't want to talk to this man. He's like really old and boring. But before you know it, they realise how passionate I am about it and how actually I can talk to this guy.
Engaging
I can
it,
talk to him. He gets it, you know. So yeah, that's kind of where that's really, really rewarding. And it's made me realise that with the music I can help people. And I've recently been into Winchester Prison.
Wow, really?
Yeah. So I've had the idea that this could work in a prison environment.
This wasn't illegal skating or anything. You're talking you went into the help? Okay.
Yeah, to help with mental health, with
Yeah,
focus, and, you know.
Wow.
So, yeah, there's that little avenue that's potentially happening. Yeah, so it's this, again, going back from where we started, music is a very powerful tool.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, the journey I've been on, it's just made me realise how powerful, and where I'm at now, it's like, wow, okay, let's do this, you know. Yeah. You know, even, you know, I think about if I, doing what I've done and what you've heard, if I ended up inside a cell, what would I miss? You know, obviously being in the skate park at 7 o'clock in the morning. But
bacon butty.
but yeah, I'd miss just listening to music, playing my music, you know, watching people dancing to music, hearing new music from young people, from anyone that comes in, not just young, because I teach young and old in my own business. So when they come in and I get like a 60-year-old that wants to get back into DJing, or his kids have left home and he always had a record collection and never really wanted to DJ, but kind of wanted to, but was a little bit scared to, a bit like me in the skate park, you know what I mean? And then they feed me with the music that they got into. I hear their story and then I relate to them, and it gives me a buzz.
It's an exchange, isn't it?
Yeah, when I watch someone that is actually just trying to beat match a tune, or even just hold a tune, a record, and then just let it go on time, I get such a buzz.
Of course,
You know. So yeah, I'm sorry if I've gone off on another tangent, but
it's all good. The journey and path. I mean, it's the personal touches. I remember, you know, calling you up and you're like, no, you need to work on your flow. You know, the 15-year-old girls, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you need to work on your flow. So okay, what is flow? You know what I mean? Just totally
that was crazy, really, when you think about those times, because I was just a music fan. I was like you.
Yeah.
I was just into, actually, there's a whole UK scene.
Well, you were just ahead of the curve, you know?
I was just like, okay, well, okay. I was just getting sent so much, and a lot of it was rubbish.
Really?
But I felt like you've kind of got to be honest with people, because we were making tapes and we were rubbish.
But it's how you
But
say...
your mates will say, oh, yeah, that's sick.
Yeah.
You need to have someone tell you, actually, if you just do that way, or just try it like that, or just scrap that, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Do it again.
It's the personal touch.
It's like trying to learn a
needs.
skate trick. You do it, you can't do it. You know, I've been trying to learn to ollie properly for about a year. You know, you keep trying, you persist. It's that persistence. You know, and just keep going. Just keep till you get better. Don't knock yourself down.
Who was that? Was it the Rough?
Yeah, Dave.
Dave Rough, yeah. Man, what happened to him? Because he was another...
He's still about.
Is he still about?
Yeah,
That's
man.
great to hear.
He's
Big
still
up
doing
Dave
his thing.
Rough.
Yeah,
Wicked.
Yeah, he's still doing his thing. Yeah, similar kind of thing to me. He started doing his Radio Zero tapes.
That's it, Radio Zero, yeah.
And then he had a mail order company as well.
Right.
So he
The
was
Rough,
selling
yeah.
US stuff as well as some UK hip hop, I think, as well.
Manchester, right?
Yeah.
Near
Altrincham, he was.
Altrincham, that's it.
Yeah, and then he's still DJing to this day.
That's
yeah, he's still
fantastic.
doing his thing. I think he still runs not an online store. I think he's got a physical store or... he's still selling second-hand tunes and what have you.
Large
as
up.
I am. I'm still selling. I'm on Discogs, still selling as Suspect packages.
Nice.
In fact, I'm getting rid of it all as much as I can. So if you want a good bargain, now's the time. Check out the Seller Suspect packages on Discogs.
First.
Because I'm still sat on a lot of stock. I'm not buying any new stock, but alongside everything else that I sell, second-hand bits and pieces from my own collection that I'm always getting rid of.
What rares have you got? What rares have you got?
All sorts.
Really?
All sorts, yeah. All sorts.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I will eventually probably go through my own UK hip-hop collection, which has been sort of
ridiculous,
reduced down over
Really?
the years. But yeah, there's some gems in there.
Really?
What have we got in there? There's a Mark B white label, actually, which
Really?
never came out, which has got like a live thing with Skinny Man and
Right.
I think Task Force on it.
Wow.
And some unreleased Mark B beats on
What?
there. That was a white label, like a show thing that came out.
Wow.
But yeah, there's loads of those kind of things in my collection.
Really?
Which, I'm currently going through all my stock, vinyl and CD, and really low prices on it all.
Really?
Because I need the space
Yes, the
for
space,
more
man.
of my own records.
So you know what to do, you know what I
But,
mean? You know what it is?
Yeah, go
Tap
check it
up.
out.
That's
Suspect
crazy.
Packages is still there as a thing. But yeah, I will always be selling as that on Discogs.
First down.
First down, big up Arrow,
Big up Arrow.
big up Heist,
YNR Productions.
YNR, original YNR. Yeah, man.
DJ AM and...
I see AM. He's from Southampton, so he's close to me now. Yeah, see him
wow,
recently.
Big up AM.
Yeah,
Jeez.
Champions of Nature.
Champions of Nature.
Yeah, man. Super T.
Wow.
Yeah.
Red Ninja.
Red Ninja.
Got Red Ninja.
Yeah, Red Ninja WBI.
Then I
Never
think
gets
of like
talked about
people
much.
like Hooch and Mick Fresh
Mm-hmm.
and people of that nature that were just really championing from, outside the periphery of what the music was doing. They were really they were galvanising the scene as well, very much like yourself.
Mm. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got to big that up.
We all did our own little kind of thing. But yeah, big up Mick Fresh. Mick Fresh put in enough work.
Enough work.
Big up Mick.
Yeah,
Blue
for
Eyes.
for real.
He was an MC as well.
Yeah, he was an
He put
MC.
out his
And he
own
was into his punk as
Suspect.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
His range
Yeah.
was fucking out.
Yeah, big up. Yeah, there's lots of heads like that had their own little thing they were doing. You know, we all did our thing. But yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, it's good. It's good that the UK hip hop scene is going still with labels like Real Life Drama, with High Focus especially. You know, that are championing it.
Yeah,
you
for
know.
sure.
So yeah, it's great to see. Like I say, it just got harder for me to buy and sell everything because it was a punt. I'd have to take a punt on.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the time when I was first running Suspect Packages, it would be a sale or return thing.
And you could get a nuance of like whether the thing was going to pick up or not.
Yeah. Because there was a time where I'd be like, I know I can shift 100 copies of that, and then it got to the point where I was like, can I sell 5?
That's crazy that you had that kind of spiritual connect to know when something... You know, that's a real observation and connection with the audience.
Yeah. I got it wrong a lot of the times.
Yeah.
I'm still sitting on stock from 25 years ago,
Yeah.
some of it.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I wanted to help everybody, so I would try everything.
When your heart was...
Yeah. There was a point where I was trying the early grime releases. We had an Australian Suspect Packages. Remember that?
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm still... Hold on 1 second. So you've got early grime at yours as well?
A lot of the early sort of Roadman CDs that
Really?
came out. Yeah, there was a small period where I was trying that. There was a whole period of, because I love my dub and my reggae, a lot of UK reggae side of things came in. More the sort of
Jeez Louise.
steppers kind of releases.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a sort of dub element to it because I love my reggae. And then I toured Australia with Braintax and Maestro.
Wow.
And I came back from that. I used to live there as a child. So I knew Australia, obviously, a little bit. And then I went back again. Their scene was very similar to the UK scene, maybe a couple of years behind. And I ended up importing Australian hip-hop.
Really?
So for about 4 or 5 years, I was importing Australian hip-hop, and I also did an Australian hip-hop show
Wow.
alongside my UK hip-hop show, where I was
Jeez.
playing just the Australian releases that we put out. It was a little tab on the side of, it was basically like a sister site to Suspect Packages, suspectpackages.com/OZ.
I can't get over that's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I went over to Australia and did some interviews. I just booked a flight and I went to Australia. This is the point where I could have just been, I was doing
Fuck it,
okay
I'm
with
going
it.
to-
Yeah,
yeah.
I just went to Australia. And I just went there and interviewed Lyrical Commission, the Broken Tooth crew, Checkmate. Can't remember who else. But yeah, just literally went with my tape player. I literally put a tape in, dictaphone, sat down, went for 2 weeks there.
Does
and
it
did
himself?
the same thing I did with the UK hip-hop. Just wanted to help the Aussie hip-hop. And it was good. It was really good stuff. And just wanted to sell it here. Thought I'd try it. He actually did all right. Did okay.
Yeah, I bet.
But it was just a nightmare, like importing stuff.
Yeah, I can imagine.
You know,
If you got
dealing-
on a tape form, then you can start drumming up there.
Yeah. So yeah, I forget about that sometimes.
And that's something. I mean, your legacy. I mean, in this small because you're still going. You see, you ain't legacy over. But you know, for this time capsule that is there anything that you regret?
It's the one thing I do remember. When we ran it, I also ran a distribution company for like 5 years. And I was in charge of bringing in a lot of the, obviously the UK hip hop side of things and, you know, the sort of merging sort of grimy kind of thing. N-Dubs, they sent me their demo, I think twice. And twice I was just like, oh, dash that, not what we're into.
Wow.
Yeah, that could have been quite good.
It could
Had
be
we
quite
signed,
good, yeah.
Signed N-Dubs. Oh, I kind of regret not sort of... I remember we used to put on a regular night, big up DJ Lock. We used to
Yeah,
put on
big
a
up DJ
regular
Lock.
UK hip-hop night called Suspect Packages Live at the Vibe Bar, big up Sports Banger.
Tight sports banger.
Because he was running the Vibe Bar, as it was then.
Wow.
So we used to put on this regular night every month, putting artists on, UK hip-hop artists, every month. Did it for 4 or 5 years, I think. And I remember putting on Rum Committee and Rag and Bone Man being a part of that and putting him on the stage. And also when Ivan did Boom Bap Festival, he very kindly gave Suspect Packages a little stage in the early, the first couple of Boom Bap. And I put Rum Committee on there and seeing Rag and Bone Man as well and thinking... He's really good. And because I was really into my soul music, still am, do you know what I mean? I could see that he had a talent. And I often thought, someone's going to snap you up, or you need to be massive. Not you are massive just as a person, you know? But I often thought, yeah. But I wasn't kind of in that sort of thing then of doing artists or artist management, which is one thing I often thought I could probably do. Yeah, I kind of missed a trick with Rag and Bone Man.
Yeah.
Because I did think you should be a household name.
Can't win them all.
You've got that little, what we were talking about earlier, you've got that little something special.
special.
You're completely different.
A&Ring essentially.
Yeah. I guess, that's kind of what I've been doing, I guess, in a way. But I kind of missed the trick with Rag and Bone Man. But N-Dubs was quite funny. That were...
I just, I'm spellbound at the fact that, after all these years, you're still moving and shaking and doing your thing, and you know you're not tainted by anything. It's like
no, I don't regret anything I've done. You know, it's all just fueled what I'm doing now, and I am still into a lot of the stuff. I've got to big up Farmer for putting out an album on High Focus.
Hell yeah,
that's incredible.
And
I do
Harry
keep
Shot
up with some things, but a lot of it, it's just great. Not because of what I was doing with the online store and the radio show. I had to be on everything.
Yeah, and it's just non-stop. Barrage of different things. Yeah. Now at least you can.
Absorb what I
breath and
want,
absorb
dip
what you want.
in, dip out. But yeah.
Fucking great. It's been a pleasure having you on, my
Thank you
brother.
very much, man. Thank you for having me.
Hero of mine, hero none less. Jeez, happy camper. Yeah, just another day. Lucky old me. Big up everybody that's been clocking from the jump, sharing a care. Remember, crime don't pay, but neither do they. Don't talk to an I wouldn't, people. You stay lucky now. Nice one, D.
Peace.
Peace.
Big up.
That was sick.
Thank you, man. Hope that was all right.